Welcome to Tiny Texas Living. Who says you can't live big while living tiny?
Today's going to be epic. Today is going to be epic. I have been setting myself up for success for days. I started on a project earlier this week, and it's now coming together. And today it is finally going to be kind of finished. I was having a little bit of a meltdown and couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to do. I had set up my record player that I got for Christmas over kind of close to my shoe station, but the problem is I was using a shelf that I already had, and it had a little bit of a sway to it. And because of that, it wasn't the best. Not to mention, I would have to move things to open it and use it, and it just was problematic. So I decided I wanted to change that a little bit. And I decided I wanted to put it where my TV is so that it would make it a little bit easier. This was not an easy task though, because I had a bunch of stuff on the TV stand that just really didn't need to be there. Old DVD cases, some gaming systems that aren't being used, things like that. And so I decided that I was going to take some time the other day, right after I woke up, to start pulling things out and putting them away. And in doing so, I freed up a lot of space and then was able to dust really, really good and then go through some stuff just in general. And it brought me to a place where then I could move on to the second phase of my project, which was moving everything from point A to point B. And that's where it got really interesting because, well, it was a lot of work. I am always up for a good challenge. So figuring out the layout, scooting the shelf over a little bit, figuring out where the other things that I already had on the shelf that were decorative items needed to go, that took a minute, but overall, I think it turned out okay. And now I'm in a place where it is now time for me to move on to the next phase of that, which is this package right here. I've been picking up records kind of as I've been going, and I like a lot of different kinds of music, and I enjoy just being able to listen to the original sounds of the music and all of the little scratches and nicks and the original way that I was meant to hear the music in the older music cases, like the jazz and the blues and the old school 40s music, and even as late as like the 90s, some of those late pressings like Michael Jackson and several others. So as I've been going along looking for deals for records, I found some great ones, but some of them are not in great shape, and so I'm needing to replace pieces of their covers because they're just bad. And others I need to protect, which is where this comes in. Anyway, long story short, today's the day. Everything came in, and now I'm going to be taking all of the individual records that I have that are in decent shape, and I'm going to be putting them into these little plastic sleeves so that I can preserve them so they'll last a lot longer. And some of these have been through it, so they're not in the greatest of shape, but they're still functional. I found this to be a super handy way for me to keep up with things, keep dust off of them, to keep things from getting inside the sleeves and potentially scratching them. And this is a very niche project that I know applies to very few people. But overall, I learned through my extensive research that keeping it in a plastic sleeve of some kind can be super helpful. And then also I'm looking into some replacement covers for the ones that are in just really bad shape where they don't even basically exist anymore. So this is going to be an interesting day, but I'm going to feel so good when it's all done. And I'm really enjoying the ambiance that the new setup is giving. I changed things out quite a bit, where I had my little glass head that was on the top, and now I've moved it down to the shelf, and I have some little fairy lights in it that look like little neuron receptors, because the glass head to me has always meant something very special about keeping a clear mind, but also with the twinkle lights, it still has a little bit of a special meaning because it's like all the little neuroreceptors that go off in my brain constantly, because my brain is always moving 4,000 miles an hour, and everything in my place here has to have something to do with something that's meaningful to me. But also, I like the fact that it adds a glowing element lower in the room, because at nighttime, I like to just turn on the different kinds of lights and just really enjoy my space in a unique way that doesn't hurt my eyes and doesn't make me have to like put in all of this strain and effort after a long day. I look at screens all day long. I don't want to look at bright lights at night. And so that's really helpful. It's working out pretty well. Overall, very pleased. So now, without further ado, thanks to Amazon and about $25, I have these right here. Clear record sleeves. So to the floor I go with this blanket so I can sit on something squishy. So the way this works is pretty simple. I just need to open these up and then pull them out one by one. And they open up somehow. I think it's on this end. And then I'll be able to slide the records inside. So I'll start off right here with The Music Man. I like musicals. My dad found this one for me and brought it home. And oh wait, I need to go this way so I can still get the record out. And this is gonna be time consuming, but it'll be worth it. It'll be so worth it. Okay, there it is. Now it's protected so it doesn't fall apart, so it doesn't get tattered or torn around the edges, and I can still open up the record right there. So I only need to repeat that process all of these times. This is working super, super well. I'm about halfway finished with the loose vinyls, and then I have these to go. And then I have these box sets, which I won't be able to use this for, but that's okay. I'm really enjoying this project so far. So since I'm taking a break, let's talk about it. Why do I want vinyl? Everything is digital now. But I really like that the vinyl has that just like original sound to it. But something else that I want to personally do with the vinyl is that I would like to eventually play into one of my other hobbies that I started out doing a long time ago, but never really got to super get into because it's very technical. I want to start like sampling some music and creating my own little things just for myself more than anything, so I can learn a new skill. And I think it's really neat to hear some of those older sounding things, because in the day of digital, there are so many cool things that are out there, but a lot of them do take liberties from those older sounding things. And I just want to broaden my musical taste and get to know artists that I might hear one or two songs from here and there, but I want to know their collection. I want to know their works. I love brain wrinkles. I enjoy appreciating talent. And one of the things I have done over time is watched about 4,642 million different documentaries. I love to watch documentaries about different artists, different people who have different kinds of talents than I do, and learning from them and what motivated them through some really hard times and what made them to achieve their biggest level of success. And a lot of this is through the storytelling of music. I think that's the most fascinating part. I wanted to bypass just digital, even though I stream music constantly on Apple Music, and go back to the original roots and hear it for myself, because there's something just really special about that. But also my record player has a special port on it where I can just plug in a little USB and I can record, and then I can sample those things. And again, they'll just be for my own personal use of getting better at the craft, but it would be cool to be able to see what I can do to manipulate music and make it a story that fits my own story. Because even though I would love to be able to create music from scratch, so let's face it, that's not something that I have the musical talent to do. I can play one chord on a guitar and that's a G. I can strum along a good old G. I can play one song on the piano, and that's from like my recital when I was in, I think, 5th grade, and it's still embedded in my brain because I played it so many times. So I would love to hear music as I hear music, through the eyes and ears of the people who are so creative. And I doubt I'll do anything with it ever, but just to learn how to do that would be super cool. So back to work I go. Ooh. Everything has a sleeve now, and I have extra sleeves because I continue to purchase these. Again, I have so many cool ones. Like this one, this one, this one, this one. So much of Ray. I love Ray. And even this one. I have a few more also that are super cool, but you get the point. So now I think I just need to order my record cleaner. I'm trying to get a kit, and I'm trying to figure out which one's the best. Several people have recommended several different ones, so I'm researching. I just need a one-stop shop because I don't want to have to buy numerous things and not have the right things. So that way I can go through and clean all the records appropriately and make sure that they're maintained. That'll be helpful. I try to buy things that don't have scratches, or if they do have scratches, they're very minimal scratches. So yeah, that's gonna help out a lot, but I also need to look into those extra sleeves. I think that they sell them in like 10s and 20s. So of course that could be costly over time, but I think I'll just get like a small pack and then start there. And then as I add to my collection, I'm going to keep it a bit more minimal. I'm not going to get millions of records. I'm not going to have a wall of records, but I'm going to get the things that I like. And I have a diverse taste in music, from everything from like ragtime and like Bing Crosby to Ray Charles to the Beatles to Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, the Eagles. I love a lot of like 90s stuff, 2000s stuff, but those aren't really so much on records. So I'll probably really focus most of my attention on records that just bring me joy. Or that show me a catalog of someone that I might enjoy, songs that I might not have seen. I also like those collections because they have a lot of great music. In fact, I have one that is just like flute music. It's so beautiful sounding. It's like peaceful. It's like the woodwinds that you hear a lot of times in like Native American music or South American music. I have one entire album that I found that is a Hawaiian artist. He's a Polynesian man who plays just beautiful things, and I'd never heard of him. So it's introducing me to new people. And that is why I wanted to start this particular project for myself, is to introduce myself to new things. I like to grow and develop brain wrinkles as I travel. I like to learn about history. I like to learn about people. And this is a way that I can do that through something that is transformative. And music connects with each of us on such an interesting level. So is this project finished? Yes and no. But it'll come along, and I'm so excited.